Christian Novels Audiobooks, The Story of Wayne and Jean Vozzolo, The Cross Penny Series, Kisses of Mercy, Episode number 108. Mark sat at the picnic tables with his Bible, a pen, and his notebook, waiting for the sun to rise. Good morning, God. I thank you that you are my God and that I am your sheep. Your word says so much, and I am listening to you, waiting for your instructions for today. Mark talked to God out loud. Me too. Startled, Mark turned around to see Sean standing there with his Bible. Do you mind if I join you? I promise I won't bother you. I like to talk to God out here too. Help yourself. I just got this Bible back Thursday. It had been missing for over 10 years. Look what I was doing back then. Mark showed the memory verses listed in the back of his Bible. Now I'm going to memorize at least 1,000 verses. Can I memorize them with you? Sean asked. Sure. Let's start with the first verse I wrote down, Proverbs 3:6, just like my dad wrote down in the front of my Bible when he and Mama gave it to me. Before the others gathered for breakfast, Mark and Sean both knew Proverbs 3:5-8 by heart. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord, and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones. Sophie, Trish, and Jackie each grabbed a water bottle and took off running clockwise around Vozzolo Produce. With a few steps, they were in rhythm with each other. Everyone else gathered in the mess hall for breakfast. The girls would eat after their run. Jean stood up and clapped her hands together to get everyone's attention. We have given the kitchen crew off until Monday, but there are plenty of Plandovers in the walk-in cooler. I have them labeled, and don't you mess with my system. So I suggest you use paper plates and disposable utensils unless you want to volunteer to wash all the dishes by hand. And if you make a mess and leave it, I guarantee you somebody will rat you out. And rightfully so. And that includes the inside of the microwaves. She sounded a lot tougher than everybody knew she was. Now, since the fence crew and Bobby are also off, we need everybody but Chester and Eduardo out in Tony's shed. Out there, Beth is the boss and Carrie's her assistant. Beth's first rule is safety, and that means no rings, no watches, and nothing dangly that could get caught in any machine, Jean continued. When Jean mentioned rings, Willie noticed Beth had on her watch, but not her wedding band. I am pleased to announce we produced the first container of dried wasabi, and it's properly weighed and labeled. Jean held up that first container and looked at Wayne. Wayne looked astonished. Surprise, sweetheart. We're back in business, starting with dried wasabi, Jean said as she looked at him. He stood up and kissed her as everyone clapped. Wayne then said, "Let us pray." After breakfast, Chester and Eduardo went to the tractor barn and got the two biggest tractors and attached giant plows to them. They drove out to the field, meeting the running teens and waving to them. Then they headed out to begin turning under the new field and mixing the sacks of nutrients into the soil really well. Sophie, your new dad reminds me of my real dad, and your new mom is so sweet, Trish commented after they passed the tractors. I know, Sophie answered back. There's something else. Sammy feels the same way. Jackie stopped running, so the other two stopped as well. She took a drink and simply said, I don't understand any of what you just said. Let's walk the rest of the way so we can cool down. We don't have very far to go, Sophie suggested. On the way back to the mess hall, Sophie and Trish gave Jackie a crash course in what it means to age out of foster care and what it feels like to be put on the bus in the middle of nowhere with barely more than the clothes on your back, with no place to go, hungry, broke, and then getting rescued by Vozzolo Produce. The girls each grabbed a couple pieces of cold pizza and went out to the picnic tables to eat. Normally, I would love a shower right about now, but we're going to get just as hot and sweaty working in Tony's shed. Willie said they'll hook up the fans as soon as they can, Trish said. Jackie started laughing. What's so funny? The other two asked. Remember my mom laughing yesterday and telling us about the old I Love Lucy show in the candy factory? Yeah, Trish said as she took her last bite. Jean and I watched the rerun of that exact episode last night. No way, Sophie exclaimed. Way, and we both cracked up laughing. Jean's a pretty neat lady, Jackie said, jumping down from the sitting from sitting on top of the table. "Racia!" She took off running to Tony's shed with the other two in hot pursuit.